What's up, guys? Ghost Zombies back. Reviewing slash revisiting Black Ops 3. I re-downloaded Black Ops 3 and all of its DLCs after having to delete Black Ops 4 so I can, review this. So, yeah. I wanted to revisit this and see if Black Ops 3 is truly better or worse than Black Ops 4. And I actually played some of it yesterday, and well, there's it's not as bad as I remember, but it's not as good either. Hold on, I think I have all my audio all the way up. Yes, I do. So, oh dang. Yeah, it makes sense. Just looking at all this. Yep, that does make sense. When I played it yesterday, I just realized something, what I mean by it's not as bad as I remember, but also not as good as I remember is well, each Call of Duty Zombies game has very different gameplay. What I mean by that is World at War is very clunky, and even when you're sprinting, you feel very slow, even if you're just running around with a pistol. Black Ops 1 is, I would say, more refined World at War, because it doesn't feel like even if you're holding an assault rifle or a pistol, you're not that slow, even without stamina. Black Ops 2, well, Black Ops 1 and each zombie game seems to have a different hit system. World at War's hit system tends to the zombies tend to want to grab you. BO1 is, I think, a 2-hit system. So does BO2, but I think it had this, for whatever reason, some elements of World at War hit system where they kind of grab you, but it's not as bad as World at War, because it's not as, it's nowhere near as buggy as World at War. In BO3, I can kind of see why some people consider BO3 zombies to be the best zombies, but the reason as to why it's considered the best is why I don't consider it to be the best. Let me explain. Let me first go to... which one do I want to change? I'll change this one. I can run this Gobblegum pack and each zombies map, aside from like I don't know, Zetsubo and Shang would still be stupidly easy. And when I say stupidly easy, I mean... Yeah, where is it? Look at the leaderboard. Solo friends. 33 on the Giant. 53 for Shadows. 53 for Drak. 29 for Zetsubo. 52 for Gorod. 98 for Rev. 37 for Noct. 37 for Verruct. 33 for Shinonuma. 53 for Kino. 46 for Ascension. 17 for Shang. 30 for Moon. And 41 for Origins. You seeing a pattern? It's like Black Ops 3 Zombies is so stupidly easy. Like, the only truly difficult maps is Zetsubo and Shang. And that's on the fact that their map design is... Well, Zetsubo doesn't have the best map design, and nor does Shang. And especially since neither have a really good camping spot. Well, Zetsubo does, but you kind of have to do most, if not most of the Easter egg, if not the entire Easter egg, because that elevator, and when you go down with into the hallway to the boss fight, that's a great camping spot. But the downside is you gotta do the Easter egg. And then Shangri-La, you kind of have to not open certain doors, and even then, you're probably better off training somewhere. Like, aside from those two maps, every map is stupidly easy. I mean, 41 on Origins, I couldn't make it past like round 20 on Origins for the last gen versions. Or Moon, same with Moon. I couldn't get past like round 15 or 20 on the Black Ops 1 version. Kino, I made it to like, I want to say 30 on the PS3 version. I actually happened to make it to around 20 on the phone version. So you see the pattern here. Black Ops 3 gameplay is stupidly easy, even if you're using, regardless if you're using the Mega Gobblegums or the classics, or none at all, because it's kind of freaking easy. And that has to do with the gameplay of Black Ops 3 and some of its mechanics, like the repack upgrades, like Blast Furnace and Dead Wire. And the fact that like there's a very small amount of bad guns in Black Ops 3 Zombies. I mean, look at this. Look at the SMGs. Which one would you say is the worst? If you said Pharaoh, you would be correct. But when packed, it's a decent gun, and the Pharaoh is also a pretty decent point gun. Or go to assault rifles. The worst one is the Shiva, and that's on the count of the fact that it's a starting room wall weapon. But when you get the repack upgrade, that's a different story. Shotguns. I think the only bad one is the KRM. That's because you can pretty much get it when you open the first freaking door on any map. Secondaries are secondaries. RK5's really good when packed. LCAR9's really good when packed. XM50, the rocket launchers are pretty much just the worst weapons to have. Especially since you can't have a repack upgrade on them. And there's actually a good rocket launcher in the game, in Zombies. And it's the L4 Siege. You can only get it on Garage Crovey. Snipers. I like to think they're all pretty good. Although I think most of us use the Draken in anyways. I mean, who really uses the bolt action sniper rifle in Zombies? It's kind of risky to do, and especially if you're camping. If you're training, it's a little easier. But even then, you don't want to do it. Not that they're bad weapons, it's the fact that they're bolt action. So the Dragon's like your only option. And LMGs. The only bad one is the Gorgon, and that's because it has a slow fire rate in its description. I mean, heck, even with rapid fire and double tap, it's still pretty slow. So yeah, that's why I don't think Black Ops 3 Zombies is the best. People seem to think that because it's easy, it's considered the best. No, it needs to have some challenge to it. If your game doesn't have enough challenge to it, then your game is easy and it sucks and it's gonna get boring. I mean, look at this. I'm Prestige Master or level 515. And this is with almost 20 days of gameplay, of in-game time. Almost 20 days. Nearly 3 weeks. Even if you go to my high rounds here, which I think that 29 is meant for when I played an Easter egg with someone. Shang. Change filter. Forgot which one it was. 2-player? Seems like it. Never played it 3-playered. Played 4-player once, it was only one round. So yeah, this Zombies overall isn't as good, but it's still not as bad. Like, that might be the upside of Black Ops 4. All the elixirs, which are BO4's gobblegums, are a lot more balanced and not as, you know, batshit insane, semi-broken. I mean, seriously. I mean, both have shopping free, and I don't think it's that broken. It's only really broken on maps that are kind of small. I don't mean World at War small. And I mean, besides, who's dumb enough to use a shopping free on a World at War map? And I mean small like... Ascension. Or Drive the Jack. They're not small, but they're more like, but it's more like you can more or less get the necessary doors, all the necessary doors open within the shopping free time limit. By yourself. Like, all I really needed to do was get points for perks and open the door to the teleporter. And, well, of course, guns. And even then, even if you don't use shopping free, all you need to do is open, like, hold on. Let me think about this real quick. Spawn, double tap. EMP wall by. Wolf painting, teleport. You only really need to open 5 doors. That's it. 5 doors. And then you turn on power, and then you have everything open that needs to be open. Like, seriously, it's just Zetsubo and Shangri-La that gives this game any difficulty whatsoever. Even with classic Gobblegums. It doesn't help when the worst guns consist of the snipers, the Gorgon, the secondaries, and the Pharaoh. And that's it for zombies. As for campaign, I played through it twice, and I still think it's bad. Nightmares makes it a little more enjoyable because it has a few zombie elements to it, but that's it. I would never touch this campaign again. This was the final nail in the coffin for me when it came to Call of Duty campaigns. Because from now on, I'm only playing Call of Duty campaign once. Like, I swear, ever since the PS4 and Xbox One came out, and we got Call of Duty games for those consoles, campaigns have sucked. Ghosts sucked. Advanced Warfare wasn't as bad, but we're comparing it to Ghosts of all things. And it does not hold up to the likes of the Modern Warfare trilogy, nor Black Ops 1 or 2. Heck, it doesn't even hold up to World at War. Black Ops 3 was a pitiful excuse of a campaign, especially in the Black Ops universe of Call of Duty. Infinite Warfare seems to be the only one I can sit through, and I'm like, I kind of want to play this again. Trust me. Infinite Warfare's campaign is like the best thing about Infinite Warfare. And then we get to World War II. Call of Duty World War II. How is it that, okay, even though it's Sledgehammer that made this World War II Call of Duty game, how is it that you make a World War II Call of Duty game worse than the one that was made in 2008 by Treyarch? World at War is a better World War II video game than Call of Duty World War II. That is sad. Its campaign was boring. Although I'd take a boring campaign over whatever the hell I got out of Black Ops 3. But then again, that's not saying much. It's zombies. There seemed to be something tangible that they had, and it had something good in there, but I forgot what it was because everything else was bad. It's multiplayer. I can't even sit through my own custom games of multiplayer. If your multiplayer is so bad that no one can play, if your multiplayer is so bad that people can't even play custom games by themselves and a bunch of bots, then something is clearly wrong. Thankfully, Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign. I was one of the people who was okay with not having a campaign, and especially since, compared to the other next-gen Call of Duty games, the only really good one was Infinite Warfare, of all things. So it's like, should we really be that upset about not having a campaign? And then we get to Modern Warfare. I find Modern Warfare here to be still disappointing, but its campaign was a lot more enjoyable than I thought. I felt like that campaign is on par with the Modern Warfare trilogy, if not better. Its multiplayer was okay, but I'm mostly playing Ground War, and that's not a good thing. And the co-op mode in Modern Warfare, yeah, I already discussed about that. It's not happening. Yeah, but Black Ops 3, the campaign is the worst one. Even with Nightmares, it's still bad. Nightmares just makes the campaign a little more bearable. Free Run was fun. I just wish there were more maps. Dead Ops Arcade 2. We should have gotten this sooner, but I'm glad we got in Black Ops 3. We need a Dead Ops 3. Now multiplayer. We're gonna be spending a bit of time on this. Huh. It only introduced two new modes. That's Fracture and Safeguard. Both are actually really fun. I love Safeguard. I just miss all the party modes from like BO1 and BO2, you know, Sticks and Stones, One in the Chamber, Sharpshooter. We need those modes back. Black Ops 4 multiplayer, I mean the Black Ops 3 multiplayer, the thrust jumping and wall running, and it's just, it makes most of the guns unusable. What I mean by that is, the only people that should be camping are those with LMGs, you know, holding down like B flag. I mean, it's a LMG. Who's dumb enough to run around like that? And snipers. And then anyone with a semi-auto assault rifle. Because those can be used, those are kind of like sniper rifles, just they don't do as much damage. Those are the only three kinds of weapons that should be used for camping only. But when you have everybody jumping 50 feet in the air, it makes it difficult for anyone to hit something. So you're really only restricted to shotguns, assault rifles, and SMGs. So, minus all the DLC weapons. So that's 4 snipers, 4 LMGs, 4 shotguns, 7 ARs, and 6 SMGs. And what I just said, sniper rifles are useless. Because everybody's jumping everywhere. So, that's a whole category out. They're not completely unusable, but I mean, when you take into account all the jump thrusting or exo jumping or whatever it's called in BO3, it just makes it that much harder to use a sniper rifle. And with the game being so fast, you might as well just use shotguns and snipers, or shotguns and SMGs. And who takes a secondary anymore, honestly? Like, I only take a secondary for the rocket launcher. And that's it. So, due to the gameplay, I can't use some of the weapons. Completely unnecessary to take a secondary, unless if it's a rocket launcher. So let's talk about the maps real quick. Not all the maps are bad. I think the worst one, just from the standard, is Exodus. Actually, no, there's quite a few bad maps. Let's see here. This map is bad. Okay, Metro, bad. Havoc, bad. Exodus is bad. Aquarium is bad. All the other ones are okay. DLCs. This was good. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm gonna go with it's okay. This was kind of okay. This had a good concept, but the map itself wasn't all that great. This map was okay. This map was good. This map was good. Good for a remake. I did not like this one. At all. This was okay. This was okay. This is just a remake or reimagining. This might be my favorite. This was okay. This is a reimagining. This is a reimagining. You see the pattern? How many reimagined maps are there? Let's see. Rupture, Outlaw, Empire, Verge, Skyjacked. 5 out of 16 maps. That is over 25% of DLC maps. And that's DLC packs, not DLC bonus.
Okay. Why don't you pull the blinds up and open your window just a little bit, get some fresh air for me.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
There we go. Honestly, there should have been more DLC bonus maps. Fringe Nightfall looked cool. And Redwood Snow also looked cool. And these 4 maps? Why did they pick these 4 maps? These don't really work well with Black Ops 3. You can't wall run anywhere you're on jungle. You can only wall run on a select few walls on firing range. Summit, forget about it. It only really made getting into the one of the platforms on the satellite tower in the image here and the gondola just that much easier. Slums is like the very definition of a boots on the ground map. There's literally no verticality. It's just flat. So maps are a bit of a mixed bag. Because I honestly thought the DLC maps were more or less okay. Although when you have 5 of them being reimagined maps, what does that say about how good you are at making new maps? Let alone if most of them are meh, with only a few truly bad ones like Exodus and Metro. Or if we go to DLC, Rumble, Gauntlet, and I guess Rise. Although class customization is actually not all that bad, although I'm still trying to wrap my head around the idea of a sniper rifle optic like the Varic 3, which is just a different variant of the variable zoom, can be used on SMGs. I know I have it here, but like, hold on. With recon. I guess I could see this working for the assault rifles, and especially ones like the Shiva, the M8A7, and of course the semi-auto ones. I'm surprised they didn't have it on the LMGs, because I know on BO2 you can put variable zoom on the LMGs. It's kind of odd. You know, say what you will about the so-called horrible microtransaction system of BO4. At least at BO4, I have a chance to get whatever camo I want on any gun. And what I mean by that is, in this game, I can still get something like, hold on, I'm gonna look for a better camo. The prestige camo, only on the base weapons. Because if I go to a DLC weapon like the Banshee, you only have multiplayer and extras. That's it. No black market camos, no zombie camos, and no campaign camos. BO4, on the other hand, I can at least get DLC camos even for my DLC weapons. And they say the Black Ops 4 microtransaction system is a downgrade to Black Ops 3. And that's also not saying much when I'm pretty sure one multiplayer game is the equivalent of 2 crypto keys. And that's not counting contracts. Oh dang, haven't played these since June? I haven't played this since June, dang. August of 2 years ago. I guess a year ago. Almost a year ago. No, almost 2 years ago. December of 2 years ago. June of last year. Yeah. I think. So yeah, overall, Black Ops 3 isn't really as good as you'd think. Because this campaign is truly bad. It is the worst campaign, and honestly, no campaign or a horrible campaign. I'd rather have no campaign. The multiplayer, kind of bad. Although it does have to do with movement. But that does not discredit the fact that it's still bad. Its maps, most of the maps are okay, just a select few are bad. And then some don't even work for this game due to its mechanics. The zombies isn't as great as you think. And especially since even without gobblegums, the game's kind of freaking easy, and even then, if you're a casual fan of zombies, you're not really into the more complex maps. The only maps you're probably gonna play are gonna be like the remasters and Horizon Track. That's it. Even then, I highly doubt any casual zombies gamer is gonna play the likes of Shang, Moon, or Origins. So to a casual gamer, the only maps that exist to them or the only maps that they can actually play consist of the giant Horizon Track, maybe Revelations, Noct, Verruct, Shinonuma, Kino, and I guess Ascension. So that's like 6 to 9 out of 14. And most of them are within a $30 DLC, being Zombies Chronicles. Heavy sex, yeah. So subjectively, I don't think this game is as bad as I remember, but it's really not as good as everybody says. Because to be quite honest, I think the only reason anyone would like Black Ops 3 as a whole is because of zombies. Even that, it's a bit questionable as to whether the game is good or not, because map selection and the fact that due to its gameplay style, it makes the game kind of stupidly easy. You mean, think about it. With shopping free, I can open up most, if not the entire map on most maps. For example, all the World at War ones, and you should be able to have all the doors open that are necessary to open with shopping free, and maybe a spin or two at the box. Shangri-La, I'm not too sure. Maybe some of the doors, but not all the doors you need. Moon is a bit of a toss-up because of the zero gravity is going to slow you down by a lot. Origins. I've played Origins enough times with the shopping free. Know that you'd only really have to actually pay for like 2, maybe 3 doors with actual points. And shopping fee is the reason why Zetsubo is at least bearable. Yeah. I'd only play this zombies over BO2 because there's only like 4 maps that I can play within BO2. Or at least by myself. I can play Mob of the Dead, but I can't play it solo. See, if you ask me, don't go back to playing Black Ops 3. Unless if you want to play zombies. That's like the only reason why I can see anyone playing this game anymore. Just the zombies. That's it. Campaign, bad. Multiplayer. I kind of think I would rather play Infinite Warfare's multiplayer over Black Ops 3's. So, yeah. Looking back on this now, it okay, out of 10, let's see, it automatically loses 2 whole points on the count of the campaign being god-awful. Then it loses another 1.5 due to multiplayer being not as great. And on top of the fact that the maps are kind of mixed with only a few genuinely bad ones. And everything else being okay. And also the fact that you can't use most of the guns. Or at least not properly. The saving grace of this game is zombies. And even then, this particular zombies game is freaking easy. There's no difficulty unless if you play the likes of Zetsubo and Shangri-La. And that's just due to their map designs. So yeah, I'd give this game 6.5 out of 10. Because out of 10, knock 2 points off for campaign, making it an 8 out of 10. Then another 1.5 because of multiplayer. 6.5 out of 10. So, not only is this what I think the worst Black Ops game, I just think it's only really better than literally the worst of the worst. Being Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, World War II, and that's it. I don't think this game is better than Black Ops 4.